Hey, how much was Sherry gonna sell us? I've been a narcotics officer for 14, 15 years. Everybody's got a decision to make in life. When I was growing up as a kid, I didn't have a very easy life. Had family members strung out on drugs. Hell, my brother, he's a damn doper, man. I had a decision to, go work the sheriff's department or go out and do wild and crazy things. I decided to get into law enforcement and said, hey, I'm gonna do what I can do to fight the crime on drugs and stuff.
All right, another dope house shut down by my boys.
COCKE County has had a long history of crime. Back in the day, they had prostitution, chicken fights, moonshine, chop shops, and then now it's mainly drugs. It's what, everybody's into now, selling drugs and doing what they can do to get high. It's good job security to have all the dealers and stuff out here, so there's no lack of work for the narcotics agents around here. Big dog. So what'd she say?
She's got Sherry lined up.
How much Sherry gonna sell her this time? 40 again, okay. Let me run this by you. On Sherry, if we do a buy today, I'll type up a search warrant tomorrow and we hit her Friday. Have her and Daddy both then. She's gonna meet us at the 440 up at the gravel road?
Yep.
All right, we head up that way then. We're going to meet our confidential informant to give her some money and send her to Sherry Shelton's residence to purchase the meth from her. Yesterday when we did the SWAT team raid at the residence of James Shelton's.
Hands up, come on! Come on!
This is his daughter that we're going to purchase off from due to the quantity that her and her dad have been selling to the people in the community. So we're going to try to shut her down. James has a son that is involved with the distribution of methamphetamines also. The generational thing that arresting relatives and daughters, sons, fathers is a very common thing in our community around here. Some break the cycle, but 85, 90% continue the cycle in the family because that's how they've been raised and grown up to deal drugs. It's a family tradition, they think, so it's hard to break. Go up here and hit this little gravel road, drive about a mile up the end of it and meet our confidential informant up here. The informant's arriving at the time it's 12:40. We're gonna get out and search the informant, search the car. Damn, look at your car, man.
I know, look, I'm gonna fix it.
Step out here and I'll talk to you. Is Sherry at home?
Yes. Cherry, she already got Let me do a goddamn line yesterday.
It's fixing to rain and you turn your window out of your car?
Well, I got some more tape.
Go to the junkyard and buy you a window.
Yeah, right?
Here's your money.
I know, and I've been so good.
Here's your money.
You get nervous when you do this?
Yeah. It sucks, but you know what? It's okay.
How often is it that it's a family?
It's normally always like that. If you're brought up in that environment, and that's the type of people you know. Yep.
So it's standard that it's pretty generational?
Yeah, because they get cheap prices because it's family, so they can make profit off of it.
She's ready?
Yep.
We'll be traveling to Sherry Shelton's residence to purchase methamphetamines. This will be a continuous recording until she returns. The cell phone we give the informant, we will monitor while they go and do the drug transaction.
She might come out to my car, so don't take other books on.
So we're going to follow her to where she goes to Sherry's house to be positive that that's the residence she's going to. She's arriving at the target's residence now. Sherry Shelton is second trailer over there. She is pissed.
That what, her dad got busted?
Yeah, she's pissed off because her dad got busted. Yeah, she's fixing to leave and come back up here. After the drug transaction's over, we will meet the confidential informant back to the predetermined location. We will retrieve our recording devices and drugs. The informant has returned with a clear rock substance believed to be methamphetamines. We just had a successful buy from Sherry Shelton, and we will start doing paperwork on a search warrant for her residence. So we're going to try to shut her down also.
3 days after I show up, I get another phone call from the narc cops. In this case, Captain David. He's like, hey, Mark, we're gonna go out and we're gonna do a controlled buy bust, which is what you just watched, where you give money to an undercover informant where they can do a purchase on an individual to try to start tracking down where the drugs are coming from and stop drugs at their source, right? So come to find out, the person that we're gonna go after is the daughter of the guy that was on the SWAT team raid. But not only just to buy dope, but then to try to build a case on the guy's son. The whole family. What are the chances of that? In COCKE County, it's not what are the chances of that. It would be odd if that didn't happen. But to hear from Captain David, these people are born and raised to think that this is completely normal and natural. This is where that thread starts to connect of learning about COCKE County, learning about the plague or issue of generational criminality. Now, the confidential informant that went to buy the dope, when I'm asking her the questions like, hey, is this normal? Is it you? Yeah, it's normal. Because the families usually give better deals to one another. Oh, okay. I mean, it makes sense from a business standpoint. If I'm going to sell something to my dad, I'm going to sell it to him for cheaper than I'm going to sell it to my neighbor. But we're talking about drugs here. And the normality that you see, how easy this is taking place. It's almost like shooting fish in a barrel. Why does COCKE County have to be fish in a barrel? That's the question you have to ask yourself. To hear even from David the cop, his brother was a doper. That's what he says. Those are his words. His brother's been in and out of incarceration, in and out of addiction. So to see that this is happening, to see that it's this common, to see that this community is giving it this much access, just tells you how normal it is to them. If it was something that was quickly happening and they wanted to hide it and brush it under the rug, I wouldn't be there. If it was for something that was just happening randomly and they didn't want you to hear about it, I wouldn't be there. But to know and see that this is what's happening on a daily basis, that's what we have to focus on. For nearly the last 100 years of cyclical issues, 100 years of criminality, 100 years of problems lend itself to this becoming normal. To them. But to the outside world, it's strange. To the outside world, it's like, well, they should know better. Well, I think by the end of this, we're going to ask ourselves, should they? We're going to ask ourselves, what responsibility do we play? And we're going to ask ourselves, why aren't we helping that community?